giveaway on this YouTube channel, Big Collectibles, and we are already past the milestone of 1K. Thank you so much for all the support. Don't worry, we're going to be planning. Actually, once I'm done with this video, I've got to do some stuff on OpenSea, and then I'm going to link up with the homeboys. We're going to link up with Dokta Strange and Fast Eddie P. Fast Eddie P giving away some wax. Dokta Strange, he's going to be giving away some Veve NFTs, which I've already announced. So, look, add him to the rotation. Hip-hop artist, Dokta Strange, link in the description. And I wanted to go ahead and make this video because someone who I've recently become pretty cool with, right? We're all family here on the channel. I met him through the channel, and he asked a question. And I was like, you know what? I wasn't clear on something. So Dr. Steez mentioned something. He was like, you know what? What about the ultimates? According to the multiplier, $640 for the secret rare. That's a steal. And look, I'm going to go ahead and say, look, the multiplier applies to comics that are what I would consider higher end. So not every comic is going to have the same demand. Comics that are worth in real life several $1,000s obviously have a bigger demand. And now obviously you got to factor in print run and availability. You know, there are comics that there's just a lot more of. The older comics obviously there's not as much of, but we can look at comic books like The Amazing Spider-Man. So that is the first appearance of Green Goblin. You know, that is something that a lot of collectors, when they come in, a lot of collectors from the real life, again, there's always collectors that collect specific things. You're always going to find those, you know, anomalies. But for the most part, a Marvel comic collector, you tell them, look, Amazing Spider-Man issue 14, first appearance of Green Goblin. They're going to think, oh yeah, that's something that, hotness. You know what I mean? You know, Avengers number 80. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. This is something that does get love, but I wouldn't put it in that top tier of comic book. You know, the Eternals number 1, again, I wouldn't put that in the top tier. The Ultimates number 1, I would not put that in the top tier. Now, don't get me wrong. I loved this run. When I read this from, you know, early 2000s, and the thing is, the first one to come out was Ultimate Spider-Man. Okay, it was a reboot. They rebooted the whole story from issue 1. It was him getting bit by the spider and all of that, kind of like Miles Morales, but just back in 2002. But it wasn't like a new person. It was still Peter Parker, but just started over with a modern feel, modern story. I liked it a lot. I have it graded and everything. And then they had the Ultimate Fantastic Four. You had the X-Men Ultimates, and the Ultimates were really good. I really enjoyed this run. The story is good. I keep talking about it, but look, doesn't matter how much I liked it, how much I thought it was fantastic, but the demand didn't follow it. So it's just not going to see the same love as, you know, some of these other books. You know, again, even Web of Spider-Man. Here's the Ultimate Fantastic Four issue 21 with the, you know, the first zombies and, you know, and whatnot. Look, Amazing Spider-Man issue 50. This is the first appearance of Kingpin. That book is an iconic key issue. I think Thor number 337 is borderline. I think it's borderline, in my opinion. 1966. But you know, if I had to push it on one side of the fence, I would say yes, this is a book that is in demand. Ultimate Fallout 4, first appearance of Miles Morales. Definitely a book that is in high demand. It's a more modern book, 2011, but it is a book that people want. Daredevil number 1. People want this book. Absolutely. You know, anything 1961, look at this, Fantastic Four issue 13. Again, it's not like, you know, Fantastic Four issue 1 or anything, but it's a 1961 book. I think that's also a book that, you know, people want. Amazing Spider-Man 361, which is the first appearance of Carnage. Again, a book that people want. First appearance of Carnage. You got the movie, and look, the issue is the movie is kind of funny how that works. Oh, I'm in the store. Okay, I need to go to the marketplace to really see it. But let's once we're done here, we'll take a look at the actual value of Amazing Spider-Man 361. Uncanny X-Men issue 4. Definitely a book that people want. Okay, these over here, not so much. Kang, first appearance, Avengers, issue 8. Yes, that's a book for sure. Black Widow's first appearance, Tales of Suspense, issue 52. Yeah, I would say so. A book that's a classic, 1959. These two over here, the What Ifs and the Incredible Hulk, I wouldn't put it in that top tier. Okay, and no knock on them. Okay, Amazing Spider-Man issue 1, of course, it's a top tier book. First appearance of Deadpool, New Mutants 98, definitely a top tier, high demand book. House of X, look, in my opinion, no, it's not one of those books that is people are going crazy for and wanting. Fantastic Four issue 1, absolutely high in demand. Journey into Mystery, issue 85, absolutely. Marvel Comics, obviously, yes, a book that is in high, like people, it's iconic. You see the cover and people want it. So I'm going to classify the books, like I said, the ones that are in high demand in real life. I'm going to go and take all of those. And like I said, what I did in that video, I went and I looked at the multiplier. And I'm going to apply that to other books that are in high demand in real life. I'm not going to go and compare it to the Immortal Hulk. Even though that's a good book, I'm not going to compare it to the Immortal Hulk, issue 1. Okay? So, and even the Amazing Spider-Man 361, yes, it's the first appearance of Carnage, but that's still a borderline book. Even so, but obviously because of the guts, it makes it important. So I just wanted to just mention that because that multiplier is not going to apply to books that are not in high demand. Now, the Amazing Spider-Man, and look, Hit Monkeys, the show's coming out tomorrow. Anything could happen, but right now it's a $100 book. It's not a super, expensive book compared to a lot of these other books. So, but hey, the show can come out and it can, whatever. It can be a super successful show. And in a year's time, this book is, 25x or whatever, can be worth several $1,000s. That's just how it is, how things can change. But right now, that is not the case. But let's go ahead and look at the marketplace for, I'm curious to see The Amazing Spider-Man issue 14, the common. Look, this just dropped today. It's a $9 book. It's a $9. You can look, $8.80. You can get that. And look, with the multiplier, we did the math. According to what we looked up, should be somewhere around $1,500. Now, yes, this has 10,000 more of a mint count than the Amazing Spider-Man issue 1 that we compared to in real life and then looked at the Veve value. So when you factor that in, fine, okay, drop it down. This is $1,000, $1,200, rock bottom book. It's $670. Unfortunately, I don't have $670 to just put it in here. If not, I would. This is, I think, a great buy right here. Straight off rip, you're to me, you're looking at $400 profit right here. Once you get the collectors coming in and they see that cover and they're like, oh, first appearance of Green Goblin, $670 versus, and they're gonna look at that multiplier and say, wow, that multiplier is really low when you compare it to the other books with other books that are higher end. So just wanted to mention that this is definitely something that looks like a steal, and I mean they all do, the common all the way to the secret rare right now, but that's because everybody went in. They're not collectors, they're just flippers. They don't know about the guts, they don't know about the importance of Marvel comic book collectors coming into the Veveverse here, into the Veve app, and seeing this and wanting this. The demand will go straight up right now. I have got to be transparent. The people that I mostly interact with don't collect comic books. They just don't. Now, there are some that I have met that they do. They have some knowledge, but for the most part, most of the people I've met don't collect comic books. This is an important comic book. It should not be selling for $10, and it won't. Once the comic book collectors come in, this is gonna be just as expensive as the other ones, and the other ones will be worth even more. So, all right, I just wanted to make a quick video about that. That the multiplier, I'm just using that multiplier for like high demand comic books in real life. All right, everyone. Good luck in all of your collectible investments and purchases. Let them all be profitable.